My name is George Steyer, and I'm an associate professor of orthopedic surgery at Harvard and a now career-long beneficiary of the wonderful mentorship of Gus White. So I first knew him as a medical student very early on in medical school. I was thankfully directed toward him for early advice and counsel, and found him actually, even before he had come to Harvard Medical School, as one of our faculty deans. Then, as a senior medical student, I was honored to be in the group of advising students that he took particular ownership over. And so he was instrumental in helping shape my direction toward orthopedic surgery. Since then, he has been everything you would want for a mentor, a role model, and an active advocate in my career and frankly in my life. It's hard to say enough thank yous to Gus White for all of the doors he has opened for me. But he's done much more than just open doors. I think my favorite thing about Gus White as a mentor is he checks his work. He checks up on you. He'll call me from time to time and just say, I'm just checking in. I want to see whether you have been able to, and he'll ask to make sure that I have followed up on an opportunity he's given me. I think that's the extra mile that a really committed mentor goes in order to make sure that somebody like me, who's just been really honored and blessed to have his influence, to make sure that I've done all that I can with it. And so it's just my great honor to be part of bringing a group of folks together to honor Dr. White and for all the things he's done, not just for me, but many people like me over many years.
I'm Serena Gupta. I'm currently president of the AOA, and obviously I'm at Stanford University. So Gus White, actually, he was really an incredible role model to me. I didn't have the pleasure and the honor of working with him directly, but somewhere along the line, I learned that he was there. And he's very, very famous as the first author in the White and Punjabi classification of biomechanics and many important aspects of spine like that. So I always knew who he was. But then when I met him, it's like meeting an icon. It's like meeting a movie star. But he was just such a modest guy, just seemed to take pleasure in meeting everybody around him, and just very supportive of all the people that he thought could help promote our profession. Encouraging and championing the diversity aspects of what he's done in the later part of his career, and just not by pushing people to do things that they weren't comfortable with, but just showing people how important diversity was to our profession, and by just being a great surgeon and a great professional. And he always signs his letters and his comments, thank you, fellow humans. And that's really what it is about for him. It's to be the best human being you can, to help other human beings, to just be a good person. And I think that's one of the things that's really been the foundation of so much of what he's done, is to be a good human and to do the best for your profession. And he's just a wonderful, wonderful human being. And that just comes across in everything that he does. And the fact that he's excellent at so many things, like spine biomechanics and spine research, and that he was the first, I think it was the first Black medical student at Stanford, and the first at many things, but it was just about him being the best at what he could do to help to help human beings.
Good morning, my fellow humans. My name is Augustus White, and I am the Ellen and Melvin Gordon Distinguished Professor of Medical Education, Professor of Orthopedic Surgery at Harvard Medical School, and CEO Emeritus of the Augustus A. White III Institute for Healthcare Equity and Humanity. Allow me to start with a strong expression of humanity and gratitude for being honored as a pillar of the profession by the American Orthopedic Association. Thank you. Thank you very much. I want to express gratitude to my dear spouse and family for their tremendous help and support. Also, allow me to thank my friends and colleagues who have so generously contributed their precious time and energy and financial resources to this program. When I was on the faculty at Yale Medical School, I invited Dr. Montague Cobb, a professor of medicine and anatomy at Howard Medical School, to be a visiting professor. And again, when I was at Harvard Medical School, I invited him to come and be a visiting professor. On both occasions, Dr. Cobb introduced his lecture by saying, "Good morning, my fellow humans." This impressed me greatly. I had a chance to ask him later why he introduced the lecture that way. He explained that the introduction gives us a kind of equality, making it more likely to collaborate, work together, even learn more from one another. Recognizing, celebrating, and exercising our common humanity has greatly inspired me as it has others. I want to express tremendous appreciation and enthusiasm to my colleagues, the doctors Serena Hu, George Steyer, and Michael Yuzimski. They all were the sponsors for me for this honor, and I want to thank them very much. I have known Serena Hu as a friend and fellow spine surgeon since I enthusiastically supported her candidacy for membership into the American Orthopedic Association years ago. She has indeed been a quintessential leader in our organization since then, and as you know, is now the AOA's president. Dr. George Steyer is a friend, colleague, and fraternity brother whom I have had the pleasure of working with in our orthopedic department at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center. Dr. Steyer is a highly esteemed, innovative leader and educator. He has exercised his expertise and his experience in the military by the development of what he calls an orthopedic boot camp for our residents here at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center. Dr. Michael Yuzimski was one of our spine fellows. He served also as chief of the medical staff at one point at the Mayo Clinic. And at present, he is a brigadier general in the U.S. Air Force. He has also had leadership roles in orthopedic research, education, and clinical care. As I review various stages of my career, I realize that there have been a very large number of my fellow humans who have helped me a great deal. I guess I've needed lots of help. So the list is far too long to share at this particular setting. Please know that I wish I would have the opportunity to thank each of you. I cannot talk about helpers or mentors without mentioning at least one particular individual who gave me my career in orthopedic surgery. That fellow human was Professor Wayne Southwick, who was professor and chairman of orthopedic surgery at Yale University School of Medicine. I believe that one of the major themes and purposes of the American Orthopedic Association is leadership practice enhancement, both for its members and by its members. Therefore, please allow me to share briefly some musings about leadership. As we, as orthopedic surgeons, seek and aspire to major progress and improvements in health equity and humanity, I like to encourage myself and others to work hard in our various spheres of influence and activities and try to do the right thing. My enthusiasm for this dictum is emboldened by this quote from Robert F. Kennedy. Each time a man or woman stands up to an ideal or acts to improve the lot of others, or strikes out against injustice, he or she sends a tiny ripple of hope, and crossing each other from a million different centers of energy and daring, those ripples build a current which can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance. Respectfully submitted, your fellow human, Gus White.